Retinoblastoma is a rare cancer that is found on the retina, mostly in babies and toddlers. When I was diagnosed, I was very old to have retinoblastoma. The tumor in my left eye was found at a routine eye exam. I have been in my eyes since I was born. I was quickly sent to Sick Kids Eye Clinic to see Dr. Hyun and Dr. Gala. After my first examination under anesthesia, also called an EUA, Dr. Hyun found out that I had a tumor in my right eye as well. She lasered that tumor, and my right eye never needed any more treatment. Having tumors in both of my eyes means that I have genetic heritable retinoblastoma. Long story short, this means that I have 50% chance of getting secondary cancer in my lifetime, and it also means that I have 50% chance of my children inheriting retinoblastoma. We know all of this from research. My treatment lasted for 3 years and a half. First, I had 2 rounds of chemo. Chemo was hard, but I got to be in the children's chemo room, where all of the kids were going through treatments for cancer. It made me feel safe, and no one asked me any questions about what was happening with my eyes. I got very sick from the chemo, and all of my hair fell out. But it really worked to shrink the large tumor in my left eye. After chemo was done, it was back to the operating room for my eye to be treated with lasers about every 3 weeks. During all this time, I went to school, went to my dance classes, and did pretty much everything I was allowed to do. I just wanted to be normal. During my treatment, I have met so many kids with eye disease, and I have tried to raise awareness for kids to get their eyes checked. After I was diagnosed, many of my friends' parents told me my mom had never taken their kids to the eye doctor. I had never been until I was 8 years old. Last year, I joined the Ontario Association of Optometrists to raise awareness for early eye exams by filming a public service announcement for the I See, I Learn program, which was played in the movie theaters all over Ontario. I've also done interviews for the City TV and Mississauga News to promote the importance of childhood eye exams. I also speak at schools for the Terry Fox Foundation, because that foundation has given Dr. Gala over $700,000 for retinoblastoma research during my lifetime. Last April, I received an award at Queen's Park from the Ontario Association of Optometrists for my volunteer work with them. I have learned that awareness and research for eye disease is very important, and it is my goal to raise awareness so no kid will ever have to go through what I've gone through. During my 3 years of treatment, my eye would be good for a few months, then the cancer would try and grow again. Dr. Gala and Dr. Hyun worked very hard to save my vision and my eye. I had cold laser treatments and hot laser treatments. Dr. Gala even tried injections of chemo that were put behind my eye. The injections made my eye red and puffy and sore. In January, Dr. Gala tried this again, but the cancer was not going to die. It sent out seeds in my eye, trying to find a place to grow. But on March 20th of this year, after 40 surgeries, I became cancer-free. To become cancer-free, I made a big decision. We found out January of this year the cancer behind my eye had sent out seeds. It was still trying to grow. Dr. Hyun and Dr. Gala explained to me that I still had a couple of choices in my treatment. They had explained my choices to me, and I made the decision to have my left eye removed. It was very scary and very hard for me, but having my eye removed would mean I would be done, cancer-free, no more surgeries, no more visits to kids every 3 to 4 weeks. I also was allowed to choose my surgery time, and both Dr. Galley and Dr. Hyun were in the operating room with me. My mom and dad were happy that day when we went to Sick Kids. We were happy because it was finally the end. All of the nurses that had become friends with over my many days at Sick Kids were surprised that I wasn't sad. But this was a good day. I could now live free from worries about my eye and my cancer and just be a kid. After my surgery, Dr. Galley explained to me that she could now do full genetic testing on my tumor. I had blood tested many times over the past years, and researchers could never find out why my retinoblastoma happened. I was basically a big mystery to everyone. But now they could find out why I got retinoblastoma. Plus, Dr. Galley saved some living cancer cells from my eye, and she showed she was going to take them and try and figure out why my cancer was so hard to stop. Good things happen from bad things, and maybe losing my eye will help save other kids' eyes. The surgery to remove my eye was a procedure that Dr. Galley learned from another doctor in India. There were 2 surgeons from the Philippines and another from Europe watching my surgery to learn from it. My temporary prosthetic was put in that very day. While I was in the hospital after my surgery, my teacher visited me and brought me letters from my friends. I also got a visit from my friend Corey Conacher, an NHL player who spent some time at Sick Kids because he was a diabetic. I got lots of presents, and it was kind of fun staying overnight. 48 hours after my surgery, Dr. Galley took off the eye patch, and there was my new eye. It looked pretty good. Dr. Galley told me that the fit was a bit loose and there was a chance my eye might fall out. I had to keep the temporary eye for about a month, then I could see my oculars to get my permanent eye. I had my eye removed on Wednesday, and the following Monday I was back to school. Life was becoming normal again. One morning, my mom left for work and I was getting ready for school. And guess what happened? My eye fell out. I called my mom in a panic. She turned around and came home. We called Dr. Galley and she told me how to put it back in. My mom's boss said no one has ever called into work and told him that they were going to be late because their daughter's eye had fallen out. To riding my horse about 10 days after my surgery. Dr. Galley let me ride as long as I promised not to jump over any jumps. I've ridden horses all through my treatment, and no one even knows that I'm riding with only one eye. I completed this year and finished 4th place for Southwest Ontario. Nothing will stop me from doing what I love. I have even become friends with a lady that owns a horse with one eye named Norman. She wrote a children's book about him and how he never gave up after losing his eye. I have always loved to swim, ski, dirt bike, play tag, and be active. Losing my eye has never stopped me from doing any of these things. All of my doctors at Sick Kids are researchers. If it wasn't for Dr. Galley always looking for a cure for retinoblastoma, I don't know where I would be today. Through my examining my tumor, we found that I was about 8 cells old when my genetic mutation happened. Dr. Chan, my oncologist, developed the chemo formula that shrunk the tumor in my eye. Dr. Hyun has developed laser techniques to destroy tumors, and Dr. Galley and Dr. Hyun are both trying to find out through genetic research why eye diseases happen. Sick Kids in Toronto is one of the best places in the world to be treated for retinoblastoma. I am lucky to live a half an hour away from there. Just after my chemo, in my first year of treatment, I had a head shaving fundraiser that raised over $18,000 in one night for retinoblastoma research. Then I became part of Brandan's Eye Research Fund. Here I can help raise money to help kids with all different eye diseases. This is very important to me. No kid should ever have to lose their vision or their life to eye disease. People tell me that I'm brave. I don't really think I am. I had to make decisions that no kid or adult should never have to make. I have met kids that have a lot more to deal with than me. Sometimes I hate that I lose my eye, but my grandma always told me, you can cry about your situation or you can change it. I choose to change it. And I want to do whatever I can so this never happens to anyone, ever. I would like to ask everyone here to help me change the lives of so many kids suffering with eye disease by making a contribution to Brandan's Eye Research Fund. Volunteers will be going around each table to take donations of $20 or more in the next hour. Thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for helping to change the lives of children who suffer from eye disease and vision loss. Your donation will not only help us right now, but it will help our children in the future. Thank you.